Yash?
Hello. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Yash. Good morning. Hello, Yash? Yash?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, आप लोग को सुनाई दे रहा है ना?
हाँ सर.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है, शुरू कर देते हैं. फाइन. तो कल सिंगल फेज डीसी मोटर ड्राइव हमने डिस्कस किया था. तो वापस डिस्कस करूं क्या? क्योंकि ऐसा लगा थोड़ा सा हमने हरी भरी में किया था कि जरूरत नहीं है.
सर ठीक है अभी वो
ओके,
हो गया
ठीक
है.
है. हो गया, ठीक है. ओके. So all of you can move to page number 36. Everybody, hope you are having this PDF opened. Is it not?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So stepper motor is not new to at least third year ENTC students, because at least in microcontroller subjects they must have studied stepper motor drives. So as I told you yesterday that we are not here to study the construction and operation of motors, but we are here to study how that motor can be driven with an appropriate power electronic system. So you know that stepper motors are of two types. First is variable reluctance and permanent magnet. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so in the sense that I'll request the students that I don't come to know when connection is lost. So, after every 10, 12 sentences, one of you can just say, yes, sir. So I'll understand that the connection is intact. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Yeah, because time is wasted for me to ask everybody able to hear. Okay, fine.
Yes,
So we know that yes, stepper motors are of two types: variable reluctance and permanent magnet. So understand one thing, that in variable reluctance motors, the stepper motor windings, they are excited in a particular sequence. And when that sequence is reversed, then the motor rotation becomes anti-clockwise direction. That is what I've written here. So in variable reluctance type, the different phase windings are excited in a certain sequence for clockwise rotation, while the same sequence is reversed to achieve anti-clockwise rotation. Okay. And in the permanent magnet type, also the windings remain the same. Only thing is that positive and negative currents are sent through each winding. To understand this thing, that in stepper motor, there are minimum 4 windings: winding 1, winding 2, winding 3, and winding 4, which you can denote as W1, W2, W3, and W4. So in variable reluctance type, these windings are excited in a certain sequence, then it will rotate in clockwise direction. Same sequence is reversed, it will rotate in anti-clockwise direction. Is it okay?
Okay, sir.
Yeah. And in permanent magnet type, in the same windings, if suppose I want the motor to rotate in clockwise direction, then I will send positive currents through all the four windings W1 to W4. And when I want to reverse the direction, I will reverse the current direction. Okay. So understand one thing, that in variable reluctance type, the sequence is reversed to change the direction of rotation. And in permanent magnet type, the current's polarity is reversed in order to reverse the direction. Is it clear till now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So now what we do is that we go to this particular diagram, which is called as open loop and closed loop. Very simple. The first block, are you able to see this block diagram?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So first is a microcontroller. Anything it can be 89C51, it can be PIC 16F84, or it can be Atmega, maybe it may be ARM also. So suitable microcontroller is used to generate the zeros and ones. That is the digital outputs, and they are given to logic sequencer, which will generate zeros and ones in a particular sequence. And the logic sequencer will drive the motor driver. Okay. So at the end, we have the stepper motor, which is a 4-winding stepper motor. Windings are W1, W2, W3, W4. And so that the microcontroller's output and the logic sequencer's output is electrically sufficient to drive the motor. That is why we put a suitable motor driver in between. So the motor rotates, and as we know that stepper motor gets its name because the windings, the rotor rotates in particular angles, which is called as a step angle. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So in an open loop system, this shaft encoder is not there. In open loop system, the microcontroller generates digital outputs. They are put in a correct sequence by the logic sequencer. The logic sequencer's outputs are current boosted by motor driver, and the stepper motor will operate in the desired direction. In a closed loop system, what is done is that we have a shaft encoder. The shaft encoder is actually a digital sensor, and it will sense the position of the stepper motor, and it will generate error codes
Hello.
in terms of zeros and ones. Is it clear? Are you able to hear me? Yeah, able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
So
Now we
now
are
we
able
Okay,
to
fine.
hear.
Yeah, now is it re-established?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So in the closed loop system, the stepper motor's position is continuously monitored by shaft encoder, which converts the positions of the windings in zeros and ones, generates particular error codes. These error codes are then sent to the logic sequencer, which will change the sequence and will reinstate the stepper motor in the correct position. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now we will discuss about which power electronic systems are used for driving the variable reluctance type and the permanent magnet type. Okay. So as I told you before, for variable reluctance type, we need to supply unidirectional current to each phase in a particular direction. Okay. And for permanent magnet type of stepper motor, we need to supply bidirectional current to each phase, hence a class C. Okay. So here we have not shown the block diagram or the circuit for variable reluctance. We have shown it for permanent magnet. Okay. So see here. This appears to be a normal, power electronic system, but only difference is, are you able to see the load?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, phase A. So please remember one thing, that this is only 1/4 of the entire drive. As I told you that stepper motor has 4 windings, W1, W2, W3 and W4. The circuit which is there in front of us is only driving one of the 4 windings. Is it clear? And 3 similar circuits will be driving the windings W2, W3 and W4. Is it clear?
We were not able to hear you for some
Yeah,
time.
okay, I'll repeat. So the circuit which is in front of you, are you able to see, Yash, this circuit?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so this circuit is the circuit for only one winding, and this same circuit has to be repeated 3 times for windings W2, W3 and W4. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So input is DC. Input is DC, right? So when
Yes,
input
sir.
is DC, this circuit can either be an inverter or it can be a chopper. Is it clear? Because chopper
Yes.
has DC input, DC output. An inverter has DC input and AC
Yes,
output.
sir.
Yeah. So if we carefully see this and refer to our notes for the chapter unit, not chapter unit, chopper unit. So Q1, Q2, Q3 and Q4. Okay. So as we told that this is the drive for permanent magnet kind of motor in which the current direction has to be reversed. Okay. So the current flowing through the windings of the stepper motor has to be reversed in order to reverse the direction of the motor. Okay. So I've written here Q1, Q2, Q3 and Q4. Are you able to see A plus?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I have written A plus for Q1 and I have written A plus for Q2. Similarly, I have written A minus for Q3 and A minus for Q4. Okay. So if you want the stepper motor to rotate in the clockwise direction, then Q1 and Q2 are switched on. So current will flow from left to the right end of the load. Okay. So it will enter through the inductance and it will leave through the resistance. Okay. So the current is positive. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So in the load, when the current flows from left to right, it is called as positive current. When it flows from right to the left, it is negative current. Okay. And D1 and D2 are the freewheeling diodes for Q1, Q2. Similarly, if I switch on Q3 and Q4, then the current will flow from right to the left of the load, that is negative current. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that is why A plus means it is the base. BD stands for base drive. And I've written down base drive means it includes firing as well as isolation circuit. So for simplifying the representation of circuit, we have not purposefully shown the firing circuit and isolation, but assume that it is already there. Okay. So A plus is the positive current drive transistor. So Q1, Q2 are meant for positive current. Q3, Q4 are meant for negative current. So they have been denoted as A minus. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So Q1, Q2 are positive phase current pair and Q3, Q4 are negative phase current pair and D1 to D4 are freewheeling diodes. Okay. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So if you refer to the literature for chopper, I will flash that thing which I had sent on WhatsApp. So please refer this thing. Are you able to see this photo?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Are you able
Yes.
to see chopper, class name and quadrant of operation?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So if you carefully see here, now can you tell me which is the quadrant of operation if VLAVG is positive and ILAVG is also positive?
First quadrant.
First quadrant. And if you want, now tell me that positive load voltage and negative load current, it will mean which quadrant of operation?
Second quadrant.
Second quadrant. Very good. We already discussed in the class that voltage is represented on plus and minus y-axis and current is denoted on plus and minus x-axis. Okay. So when we say that the current is negative, that means the operation shifts to quadrant number 2. And you see here which class of chopper will give you 1, 2 operation?
Class C.
Class C, right? Yes.
C.
That means, yeah, that means for if you want to operate, just a minute. Are you seeing the circuit again?
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now?
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, very good, right? So in essence, for running a permanent magnet type of stepper motor, we need both positive and negative currents, and load voltage remains positive. So only class C chopper can give you that. So I've written here, circuit operation is same as that of class C chopper, that is quadrant 1, 2. Okay, is it clear now? Stepper motor drive.
Sir, how will we get positive VLAVG?
How will we get?
सर इसमें VLAVG कैसे पॉजिटिव होगा?
नहीं, मैं बता रहा हूँ ना आपको, आप क्लास सी चॉपर के ऑपरेशन को रिफर करो, आपको समझ में आ जाएगा. ओके
ओके सर.
या एक्चुअली ये सर्किट जो हम देखते हैं ना, वो देख के ऐसा लगता है कि ये इन्वर्टर है. एक्चुअली इन्वर्टर नहीं है, ये चॉपर है एक्चुअली. ओके
ओके सर.
या इट इज अ चॉपर. इट इज कंफ्यूजिंग, सो यू प्लीज रिफर टू यही जो अपना पीडीएफ है ना, यूनिट एक्चुअली यूनिट 6 नहीं, यूनिट 4 मास्टर पीडीएफ जो है, उसमें स्टार्टिंग के 20-25 जो स्लाइड्स हैं वो चॉपर ऑपरेशन के, उसको रेफर कीजिए. ओके तो लॉकडाउन के पहले तक मैं क्लास सी में पढ़ा नहीं पाया था, इसलिए आपको कंफ्यूजन है. ओके
ओके सर.
या so go to BLDC motor drive. So basically BLDC stands for brushless DC motor, and it is nothing new. It is actually a synchronous motor. Okay, but it is a synchronous motor with some add-ons. So in your second year of engineering, you must have studied synchronous motor, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the synchronous motor is a motor which runs at synchronous speed, and this speed is equal to 120 F by P, where F is the frequency of the stator, and P is the number of poles, right? So if we have a 50 Hertz frequency and we have 4 poles, then the speed becomes 1500 RPM. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, is it audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah. So because synchronous motors as well as induction motors are actually AC motors, we have 3-phase synchronous motors and 3-phase induction motors also. So in our discussion, we are considering a 3-phase synchronous motor. Okay. So we know that your notes it is written. Consider a 3-phase synchronous motor which has a stationary part called as stator and a moving part called as rotor. Stator consists of 3-phase winding which is fed from 3-phase AC supply at 50 Hertz. Rotor is in the form of magnets having north and south poles. Okay, clear till this point?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, fine. So why this motor gets the name BLDC, brushless DC motor? I've written that synchronous motor does not have brushes or commutators similar to DC. So if you study the construction of a DC motor, it has what is called as commutator brushes. Okay, so commutator is also known as brush. So because a synchronous motor does not have brushes, that is why it gets the name brushless motor. Okay, brushless. Is it clear?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yeah, and as such, synchronous motor being an AC motor, it needs an AC supply. But because of the advent of systems called as inverters, we can have a direct DC input. We can convert this DC into AC using inverter, and this inverter's output can be used for driving a synchronous motor. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah. So till the time inverters were not created in this world, nobody knew how to convert DC into AC. That is why in that period, synchronous motors were driven by AC directly. So we did not have the concept of brushless DC motor. Okay. So since this motor can be driven by DC input by using an inverter, it is known as brushless DC. Is this clear why it is called as brushless DC?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah. So here it is written, unlike conventional synchronous motor, in this motor, Hall effect sensors are used. I told you that BLDC motor is basically synchronous motor, but it is having some add-ons. Then add-ons are actually Hall effect sensors. So Hall effect sensors are used to indicate the position of rotor. So in this BLDC motor, the rotor construction is very complicated, and in front of every pole of the rotor in a synchronous motor, there is one Hall effect sensor. And if you study the operation of a Hall effect sensor, these Hall effect sensors are actually sensitive to magnetic fields, basically polarity, and they generate a 0 and 1 when a north pole magnetic field comes in front of them. Okay, I've written that Hall effect sensors are used to indicate the position of rotor, and sensor outputs a logic 1 when north pole is in front and logic 0 when south pole is in front. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So stator is driven by three-phase output of a three-phase transistorized inverter. Okay. So primarily in a BLDC motor drive, the input is DC. It is given to a three-phase inverter. The output of the three-phase inverter is R, Y, and B phases, and these three phases are then connected to the three-phase stator windings of the BLDC motor. The base or gate drives for transistor switches by firing control circuit based on outputs of rotor position sensors. Okay, so written that the drive circuit, the base or gate drives for transistor switches by firing the control circuit. Okay, here. So this is the block diagram of a BLDC motor drive. It's very simple. Here we have shown a motor. Okay, so stator plus rotor actually represents a BLDC. So the concentric circle is a stator and second is a rotor. Are you able to see this diagram?
Yes, sir.
It's very simple actually, right? So we have a DC input, which is given to three-phase transistorized inverter. The output of inverter is R, Y, and B phases, which are given to the stator windings. And you see a rotor. So rotor is having Hall effect sensors. Down it is position sensors. These position sensors will continuously generate zeros and ones depending upon the rotor position, which is called as digital coded outputs. And these are given to phase delay and firing circuit, and which is a reference phase. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So whenever there is a error in the rotor position, the digital coded outputs change, and accordingly the firing circuit will change. Is it clear? Any
Yes, sir.
doubts about BLDC motor drive? It's very simple. Okay, DC to AC, then Hall effect sensor sensing the outputs, and accordingly the phase and frequency of the inverter is changed. Is it clear? Are you able to
Yes,
hear?
sir.
Yeah. So then we have advantages, disadvantages, and applications. So BLDC motor is very special. So these are all the relevant applications which we can relate to in day-to-day life. Electronic power steering. No cars in this world in the last 5-6 years are without a power steering. So electronic power steering uses BLDC motors, DVD players, hard disk drives, and biomedical instrumentation. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now we go to the last application of this unit, that is variable voltage, variable frequency, three-phase induction motor drive. So the previous application BLDC was actually an AC motor being driven using an inverter. And here we are going to have an AC input. Jo. Yeah. Everybody is able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
fine. Yeah. So induction motor is one of the most widely used AC motors. In fact, if you read the literature, 70% of prime movers in this whole world are actually induction motors, right? So three-phase induction motors. So assuming that the induction motor's construction and its operation is known, we can put down the expressions which define the dependency of motor torque and motor speed. Do you remember that our discussion on single-phase DC motor drive? There also we had put down an equation for speed and torque. Do you remember?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So understand one thing, that from a motor, we need only two output performances, that is speed, which is variable, and appropriate torque. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now from the literature of induction motor, we have equation number 1. So torque is represented as T and motor speed as N. So T is equal to 3P upon 2 pi, Vs upon Fs whole square, and then we have Fr Rr. So when this subscript R stands for rotor and S stands for stator. Okay. So please remember that similar to synchronous motor, induction motor also has a stationary part called as stator and a moving part called as rotor. So the subscript S stands for stator and R for rotor. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Everybody able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So P is the number of stator poles. Vs is the stator voltage, Fs is the stator frequency, and Fr, Rr, Rs, all these are quantities related to rotor. Okay, so Vs, Fs, Rs, Xs are stator voltage, stator frequency, stator resistance, and stator reactance, and this Rr, Fr, and Xr are rotor resistance, rotor reactance, and rotor frequency respectively. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so equation number 1 clearly says that the torque generated by the motor is proportional to Vs upon Fs whole square. Okay, so it is proportional to the V by F ratio. Okay,
Yes, sir.
everybody is able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this particular equation indicates that see, now in this equation number 1, the number of poles is constant, and all other parameters like Rs, Rr, and Xs, Xr are all actually related to the geometric construction of the motor. So these are all constants. So equation number 1 clearly says that the torque is proportional to the V by F ratio. That is why for constant torque operation, Vs upon Fs ratio should remain constant. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So now induction motor is an AC motor. It needs an AC input. So as such, we can use an AC voltage controller for our operation, right? Is it clear?
Yes,
So
sir.
if you want to vary the torque of induction motor, I will change Vs RMS by varying the firing angle in AC voltage controller. But what will happen is that, please remember that AC voltage controller gives you variable RMS output, but the frequency remains constant. Is it not?
Yes.
Yes. So if I want to change the torque of the motor by simply increasing the numerator, because denominator is constant, the torque will not remain constant, right? So we cannot obtain constant torque operation for induction motor if we use a AC voltage controller for driving it. Okay. So we cannot use AC voltage controller. So Vs and Fs must be increased or decreased linearly. Is it clear? Yes. So
Yes, sir.
then to ensure reliable operation of an induction motor, it must be ensured that core is never saturated. This is a very basic concept of induction motor, that in an induction motor, if the ratio of stator voltage and stator frequency is not constant equal to K, then if you change any of the quantities and if this ratio gets violated, then it leads to core saturation. Did you listen this point?
Yes,
Sir,
sir.
can you repeat it?
Sir.
Yeah, I repeat that for a reliable operation of an induction motor, if the ratio of stator voltage to the stator frequency is not constant, then it leads to saturation of the core, which reduces the efficiency of the motor. Is it clear?
Okay.
Yeah, so
Yes,
this is
sir.
see, this is what the induction motor manufacturers say like that. Okay, that is why I've said that to ensure reliable operation of an induction motor, it must be ensured that core is never saturated. And if you want to avoid core saturation, the V by F ratio must remain constant. Is it clear, Chandan?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So does this technique, which varies Vs in proportion with variation in Fs, to ensure that V by F ratio remains constant, is known as variable voltage, variable frequency method. Is it okay? Now you understood why this topic is called this name, variable voltage, variable frequency. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
because we have to simultaneously vary Vs and Fs in the same proportion, so V by F ratio remains constant. That is why this topic has the name variable voltage, variable frequency. Now we come down, and this is a simple graph. You can understand that here. You can understand it's very simple. I have simplified it. Okay. So now this is the first method. So basically, I have discussed 3 methods for V by F control. The first method is called as it's method number 1. So here you see we are having a 3-phase rectifier as the first block. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah. So output of rectifier is DC, which is filtered, and we have an inverter. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So the first block, which is control rectifier. So how can I vary Vs? So now this Vs, which is there here. Yeah, I cannot vary Vs from rectifier. Why? Because rectifier is a AC to DC converter. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah. So the control rectifier is responsible for varying the DC input to the inverter, and in an inverter, I can have FS variation. Is it clear?
Variation.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
sir.
yeah. So VS variation is brought about by rectifier, and FS variation is brought about by inverter. This is the first kind of drive, that is rectifier plus inverter. Second method, you see this, there is a little variation. The last block remains the same. Three-phase inverter remains the same. But see how the DC is varied now. We have a diode rectifier, uncontrolled rectifier. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So in a diode rectifier, it is not possible to vary the output DC voltage because there is no concept of alpha here. So phase angle control is not possible in this system. So the diode rectifier outputs like a constant DC input. Chopper will convert DC into variable DC, and variable DC will be converted into three-phase. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
So in the method number 2, VS variation is brought about by chopper, and FS variation is brought about by the inverter. We have method number 3. In method number 3, if we see here, this is the best possible method because you see method number 2 and 3, the first block is same. First block is uncontrolled rectifier. So output is fixed DC. But see here, we have a special kind of inverter, that is PWM inverter, where I have written VS variation and FS variation. So if you remember in the class, when we discussed the PWM inverter, we told that PWM waveform is the only waveform which gives you simultaneous RMS variation and frequency variation. Remember that? Are you able to hear me?
क्या कर सकते हैं?
Yeah. We are back?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, fine. So we are method number 3. So please read this carefully. Kindly note that PWM is a special type of waveform in which both its RMS value and frequency can be simultaneously varied such that V/F ratio remains constant. Hence, method number 3 is best suited for variable voltage, variable frequency method of speed control of induction motor. Clear?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yeah. So to repeat, in this particular topic, we discussed how induction motor, if it has to operate reliably and efficiently, the ratio of stator voltage to the stator frequency has to remain constant at a certain value K. And if this particular ratio is violated either by increasing VS or increasing FS disproportionately, it will lead to core saturation. Okay. And then we understood that if induction motor needs a three-phase AC input, we could have very well used an AC voltage controller. But the problem with AC voltage controller is that it can only give you variable RMS output, but it cannot vary the frequency simultaneously. That is why AC voltage controller is not suitable. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So AC voltage
Yes, sir.
controller is not suitable for driving an induction motor. So we have 3 possible solutions here, in which we use a control rectifier to convert AC to DC, which gives you VS variation. Then we use an inverter for changing the frequency in the same proportion. The second method replaces a control rectifier with 2 blocks, that is a diode rectifier and a chopper. So diode rectifier will give you fixed DC input, chopper will convert it into variable DC output, and then an inverter.